What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host that is loving the hell out of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. They are so good. The music is good. The tricks are good. The character customization's aight. The hair looks really cool, though. And I'm just having a blast. I've only played the first game's parks and stuff. And it's so good. It's just as good as the original. Less gory, though, which sucks. Anyway, Zach in today's subreddit is r/ProRevenge. Alright, this story's called Birds Are Petty as Flip-Flops. So I got a cockatiel, her name's Twinkie, about a month ago. Wow, interesting time frame. About a month ago, because I've been wanting a pet for a while. In case you don't know, I got a cockatiel about a month ago. We instantly connected, and she really liked spending time with me, but I still made sure to give her space during the first week. However, most of my family members apparently didn't understand that Twinkie was a living creature, and kept trying to grab her or pick her up despite me insisting not to. Now, Twinkie's okay with sitting on my mom's shoulder, but I'm pretty much the only person she fully trusts, and will fly away from her as soon as I'm out of sight. The revenge part came when I started potty training her. Yes, you can potty train a bird. The first things I taught Twinkie is that she can't poop on people no matter what, and that if she needs to, she can just fly off anytime and do her business elsewhere. The training was successful, or so I thought. Unfortunately, that time was probably the most stressful because she was out of the cage more, meaning everyone wanted to touch her. I wouldn't mind it if they actually did it correctly, but they never listened to me and still made her very uncomfortable. As revenge, Twinkie now poos on everyone except for me. I'm not joking. She legit flies off of me and onto someone else, does her thing, and then flies back to me demanding cuddles. I find this hilarious and adorable. Yeah, man, it's not something you think about, but dude, birds will poop on you. I've been pooped on many times, and it's not that bad. I mean, it's just kind of gross when it smears when you're trying to wipe that. Alright, this story's called Won't Pick Up Your Dog's Crap and Then Steal From Me? Move out then. So I posted this in r/entitled parents, and more than one person suggested I also post it here for you lovely people. It's quite long, I do apologize. So this happened at the last apartment complex I lived in. Sorry it's so long. My significant other and I were renting a ground floor unit at a really nice apartment complex. I wouldn't say it was a luxury apartment or anything, but our ground floor unit had a little patio off the back that led out into a really nice courtyard area with hammocks, a walking path, outdoor fireplace seating area, etc. A lot of people walk their dogs out there or let their kids play out in the grass, including us. We have a 1-year-old cane Corso, badass. We got her when we'd been living in the unit for about 2.5 months, and she was only 8 weeks at the time. She's a really good dog, and we trained her well. We could let her out to go potty, and she'd come right back, even if there were distractions, people, dogs out. We always stood on the patio and watched her anyway, because our pet agreement said we couldn't leave our dog unattended. Then we'd go pick up her poop right away if she pooped. Also part of the pet agreement, as I'm sure is standard at most apartment complexes. We kept a small step trash can outside specifically for her poop bags because we didn't want to throw them away inside, and the only outside trash cans were on the other side of the building, which I agree is super dumb. It really was a small trash can, like the kind you tuck in the bathroom between the toilet and the wall. We also had her poop bags hanging on our patio door handle for easy access so we didn't have to hunt for them every time we needed them. This lady and her kid moved in on the ground floor in our building, 2 units down from us. No biggie. We ran into her one day carrying in groceries, and my significant other held open the door for her. She seemed kinda Karen-ish, but was polite, and her kid, probably 10 to 11 years old, didn't look up from his phone. Whatever, that's pretty typical of kids these days. They also had a dog, a little black and white fluffy thing, super cute but not trained very well. Don't know what kind of dog, but it was much smaller than our already giant puppy. After about 2 weeks or so, we realized that there were dog turds in the grass right off our patio. We found out the hard way because my boyfriend stepped in it the first time. Luckily, he wasn't barefoot. They were clearly not our dog's turds, as 1, we always picked up her poop right after she went, and 2, They were very obviously from a small dog, not our 70-pound puppy. We'd been in the apartment about 7 to 8 months at that point and had never had an issue with this, so we figured it was entitled Mother's little dog. I wrote her a polite note that basically was like, "Hey neighbor, we noticed that some of your dog's poops aren't being picked up and are right off our patio. Per the pet agreement we all have to sign, we all need to be picking up our own dog's poop each time they go. I'm sure it was an accident and you just didn't notice, so if you could make sure to do that going forward, we'd appreciate it. Your neighbors and unit number." She wasn't home, so I slipped it under the door and went back to my apartment. A couple of hours later, this lady is banging on my door and gets really angry with me. Insists that it couldn't have been her dog, and how dare I assume. I felt really bad and I apologized immediately. Said I didn't mean to offend her and it must have been someone else. She told me never to bother her with crap like this again and stormed off. I was like, okay. Not 3 days later, I was sitting on my patio with a book enjoying the cool weather when I see their little dog run out their back door. No one with it, and it comes over to me. I said hello to the pup because I love pups, and then it took a crap right off the patio, ran back home, and scratched the door to be let in. I saw her kid slide the door open enough to let the dog in and then closed it again without coming outside to pick up the poop. I was annoyed because here I saw it with my own eyes that it was their dog and no one was even watching it when it was outside. So I grabbed a poop bag, picked up the poop, wrote another, less polite note about her kid neglecting to watch the dog or come to check if it had pooped or pick up after it, and dropped the poop bag and the note on their patio right by the door. Oh, damn. Then went back to my reading. Entitled Mother was quicker to come by this time and stomped right up to me, waving the note around. Then stated that her kid was just a kid and probably just forgot to check. I said I didn't care. Her kid was old enough to stand outside for 3 minutes and come pick up the dog's poop. She said, well, there's no poop bags or trash cans on this side of the building, and she didn't feel comfortable making her kid walk all the way around the building for that. The next part is my own fault. In hindsight, I suggested she put a trash can like mine on her patio and leave their own poop bags handy like we do for our dog. She eyed our stuff, huffed some more, rolled her eyes, refused to do anything about the poop, and walked off. At this point, I was super annoyed. I stocked my patio door for the next couple of days as much as I could, just waiting. And sure enough, on day 2 in the evening when I was about to give up, I see the puppy run outside towards my patio. I whipped out my phone, took some pictures of the dog outside, alone, not allowed, and the dog pooping, and then took another photo an hour later of the poop still there and timestamped all of them. Then I sent an email to the apartment office people who were always pretty nice, and they responded quickly that they would give her a warning about it. And sure enough, this lady comes back again to get mad and yell at me about how petty I was to report them to the office, and now they had a $150 fine for not picking up their dog poop. It's worth noting that these fines were rare. Poop prints were not used at this complex. In order for the office to fine someone for dog poop, they had to have proof it was that specific tenant's dog's poop, and that it wasn't picked up. Hence the photos I'd taken and timestamped. I told her that I had tried to be nice about it with her twice before, and it was her own fault at that point for not abiding by the terms of the pet agreement we all had to sign. Everyone who had a dog, at least. She went off about how she's a single mom and she works during the day and her precious baby can't be expected to pick up after their dog. I told her that a 10, 11-year-old was plenty old enough to pick up after a dog, and that if they weren't responsible enough, then maybe the kid shouldn't be letting the dog out at all, and she should be the one to do it, or maybe whoever's home with him should be looking after it. She got angry, told me I had no idea how to be a single mom, that her mom stays with him during the day and shouldn't be expected to look after her kid and her dog, and she stomped off again. I expected to hear more about it, but I didn't. The ironic part is, I am a single mom. My kid isn't my significant other's, and I raised him alone for 2.5 years before I met my significant other. So yes, I do know how hard it is, and I live 1,000 miles from my closest family, so I never even had the luxury of being able to have my mom watch my kid. Over the next couple of weeks, we didn't find any more dog turds off our patio, but we did notice our poop bags were depleting and our trash can was filling up way more quickly than usual. I had my suspicions and wanted to test it. We had recently bought some small security cameras for inside our apartment for different reasons, and I had my boyfriend set one up outside on the patio. We faced it where it could see our door and trash can, but didn't point to the rest of the courtyard or other people's units. We respect privacy around here. Sure enough, the same evening my boyfriend set it up, I see the kid walk onto our patio, take a poop bag, walk out of frame, and then come back to throw it in our trash can. Okay, now I'm pissed, but also not trying to fight this lady or a kid. So I moved the poop bags to the inside door handle. It's a glass door, so you can still see them, but we always lock our sliding door. Next morning, I hear someone knocking on the back patio door, and I go to see her kid standing there looking annoyed. I didn't open the door, I just spoke loudly enough to ask what did he need. He demanded a poop bag for his dog's poop. I said, I'm sorry, but these are our poop bags for our dog, and they weren't free for anyone else to use. The apartment provides poop bags and a dispenser near the trash can on the other side of the building. Kid started demanding a poop bag, saying his mom told him he could use ours, slapping his hands on the glass a few times, trying to scare me. Yes, I'm so terrified of a 10-year-old boy. And finally screaming at me that he's telling his mother on me. I said, fine, go ahead. I'll tell her the same thing. Sure enough, a few minutes later, his mom is standing on my patio, also demanding a poop bag for her dog's poop. I denied her a bag and asked her to please step off of my patio as she was making me feel unsafe and uncomfortable. My significant other wasn't home. She told me I was a bratty child. I'm 24, and she demanded I let her use my poop bags as I had already told her she could before. I said, no, I told you to get some yourself and do what I do. Keep them close by and put your own trash can on your own patio, not use the bags I buy with my own money for my own dog and then fill up my tiny trash can with your dog's poop. I pointed out she could use a plastic shopping bag if she didn't want to buy her own poop bags, or she could use the bags the complex provided on the other side of the building. She kept going off on me, and I finally told her if she didn't leave my patio, I'd call the police as she was harassing me. The apartment office was closed on Sundays, and of course, it was Sunday. She acted like she was going to call my bluff, but then my boyfriend got home and walked up behind me to ask what was going on, and she ended up dragging her kid away, again leaving the poop in the grass off my patio. So, once she was gone, I took another time-stamped picture of the dog poop, downloaded the footage from my security camera of her kid stealing my poop bags and then throwing them in my trash can, and the footage from them that morning yelling at me and demanding my bags and my denying them, and emailed all of it to the apartment management. I told them that she made me feel unsafe and uncomfortable in my own home, that she and her child felt entitled to come onto my patio and take my belongings. I also went outside, picked up her dog's poop, looked in the trash can on my patio, and pulled out the bags with her dog's poop. They were significantly smaller than my dog's poops, as I'm sure any dog owners could tell the difference in poops of a 12-pound dog versus a 70-pound dog. I went and opened all the bags and dumped the poop straight onto her patio right outside the door. On Monday, I heard back from the office lady who said she would take care of it. By Friday, there was a moving truck and the lady and her kid were moving out. Pretty sure they were evicted, or at the very least urged to move before a formal eviction process was initiated. After talking to some of our other, much friendlier neighbors, it turns out we weren't the only ones who had been complaining about her. They'd only lived in the complex for like 2 to 3 months before they made so many enemies they were kicked out. Sometimes I think I should feel bad for playing a part in them getting evicted, but honestly, I can't bring myself to feel guilty about it. Not my fault she was a lazy, entitled bimbo who couldn't even be asked to get a shopping bag to pick up her dog's poo. I never heard from her about the turds I dropped on the patio, but I like to think she stepped in them without looking and knew better than to come complain to me about it. Sorry, not sorry. Also, I'm sure they were given more than a week to vacate, as those are the tenancy laws here, but she packed up and left like a bat out of hell. Guess she didn't want to stay somewhere she was clearly seen as an enemy. I don't know for sure that she was evicted or if she was just asked to leave or abide by the lease or what. The office can't give out that type of info, and she and I weren't exactly on speaking terms for her to give me the scoop about it. Ha! If anything, you need to give her the scoop. The poop scoop. Aha!
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.